I know that the first thing I'm going to get is surely somebody's going to comment and say, why did you put the cable in the front? Why didn't you put the cable in the back? It could go either way. Hey there, welcome to the garage. It's time to replace the hood latches in the Jeep. These are the original ones that were with the Jeep when I bought it. They're 35 years old. They still work. They function fine for the most part. The one on the driver's side obviously easily comes out when the hood is open. So the hole is kind of wallered out. I want to replace them with something that maybe looks a little better, and I decided to go with something that locks to a certain extent. Unfortunately, they don't make a locking hood latch that I could find for the YJ. So I'm going to have to take one that's kind of made for a TJ and adapt it a little bit. I'll end up having some holes in different places, and I'll have to modify that. But I think they'll look good. First thing I got to do is get these out. But before I do, I want to show you what I got. So this is the kit that I got. It's for a TJ slash JK, I think. Let's see, 97 through 2006 TJ. So the holes aren't going to line up, like I said, but you got this base plate here that mounts on the fender, and then obviously this mounts on the hood. Then you have this adjustable turnbuckle that to give you a little bit of adjustment and play. And then once you get it where you want, this pin goes through and locks in place. It's a little tricky. It took me a minute because the instructions are basically non-existent. They kind of show you to basically just mount it and put the screws in. But it doesn't really tell you how to make the key work. So that took a minute. This key functions by pushing that little pin up. And so what you have to do is you put the key in, you turn it about 1/8 of a turn counterclockwise, and then that lets the pin sink back further, and those two little balls will adjust, and then you can slide the pin in. Once you push the key and then turn it back clockwise, then those balls won't come out. First things first, though, I got to get this old gear off of here so I can see where the holes are, and then I'll have a clear shot to start trying to figure out where I want to mount these guys. This should just pop out from the bottom. No idea what size. What does that feel like? 7/16? We'll see. I did not check that ahead of time. I swear I got lucky. So if you're removing hood latches from your YJ, those are 7/16 nuts on the back. For those following along in your hymnals. I don't know why these bolts are so long. Oh, I didn't get that one loose enough. One would think this is also going to be 7/16. No, wait a minute, is it? It is. Oh, wow. This would be a good time to clean some of that up. I don't know what is in this bottle. Ooh, apparently that's vinegar water. Yeah, that'll work. So I went ahead and popped the other side off, got it all taken care of, and kind of cleaned up the fender and the hood just a little bit. Probably need to do something about that. But the first thing I need to do is kind of figure out where these guys are going to land. Well, good Lord. Where these guys are going to land and how much of the old holes those are going to cover up. Oh, I see a problem. Oh, I see why these work for the TJ, because the TJ hood's kind of flat, I guess, on the side, or it has that little indented area that's flattened out. These kind of rock a little bit. So what if I bring them down lower onto this flat part? Is that going to work? what's the shortest I can go? Let's see. Oh, can I use those holes? Would I get so lucky as to use? See these? This base plate has these two little nubs on here that to keep it from rotating, because it just has a center screw to hold it in place. So I wonder, am I going to get lucky? No, they're like just a 1/16 of an inch off. I'm going to have to do something. I have to drill another hole. I think I can get close though. Let's see. Make this guy as short as I can make it. See what that's going to do for me. Always move it out, I guess, too. I'm going to monkey with this for a little bit, and then I'll bring you guys back in and show you what I came up with. But it's going to look something like that. I don't know. Let me poke around with this for a minute, see what I can come up with. Okay, using well-documented and industry standard practices, I modified these holes so that I can get these two little nubs to fit down in there awfully close. It's just going to take a little persuasion. So I've made a little progress. I've got the bottom part mounted. Well, it's not mounted. It's not all the way in. And I'm trying to make sure kind of where I want to put the top bracket. Because the YJ hood is rounded, a little more than a TJ is, I guess, there's going to be a gap. A little bit of a gap there. The bolts are down at the bottom. So, I mean, the bolts will hold it. I'm not too worried about that. But I'm a little too OCD, I guess, for this gap to remain there. So I'm going to need to do something that's probably going to be RTV, I guess. I'm kind of thinking of some creative ways to do that, but that's where I've gotten so far. So I'm gonna get this adjusted to where I want it. I'm gonna leave a little bit of play here so that I don't want to crank it all the way down, because then I lose all of my adjustment to tighten the hood down if I need to. So I'm gonna give a little bit of play there, and then I'll mark where I want to put this, and probably go ahead and mark the holes that I want to drill, and then take everything off and get those drilled. And then I'll figure out how I want to fill that gap. So here's what I've come up with. A buddy of mine likes to give me a hard time because I use painter's tape, but in this case, it's going to work pretty good, because it's black Jeep, so I can't mark on the Jeep, and I can't use a paint pen, all the normal things that I would use to mark. So I would just put over some painter's tape, and then I can mark where I'm going to be on the painter's tape, and then I'll be able to see where I want to drill my holes. I went ahead and marked where the existing holes were, because I want to make sure that everything lines up the way I want it. I think that's going to be, that's where I want to go. That's going to barely cover that hole. So why did I do that? Well, because I need to take all of that off in order to actually get to where I can mark the holes. Is that where it was? Is it pretty close? You tell me. Can't see a thing. Oh, dead center. Okay. All right, that's where my holes need to go. Choo, choo, choo. I guess I'll drill a pilot hole, since that's what you're supposed to do. One down. Probably should have looked to see what I'm drilling through on the inside before I did this. Too late now. This bottom one's a 5/16. Close enough for who it's for. It's all right. I had to move the camera to bring you in a little closer. What do you think? You think it's all going to line up? Boy, the one thing I don't like is that those are Allen heads. So I need to get, where did I put them? I have, aha. So one of these. Perfect. That's much easier than those janky little Allen wrenches they send with these kits. Well, now I have to move all my stuff off the hood. You know, you just can't find good help these days. What are you doing way down there? There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm aware that those holes are still there. I'm perfectly aware. I don't know what I'm going to do about it yet, but I'm going to do something. That seems odd. Don't tell me my hole doesn't line up. Oh. Kind of, sort of, almost lines up. I may have been slightly incorrect. It's a 1/4 inch hole that needs to be drilled for these guys. And you can make the other one work, but this is easier. You ever have one of those days where you drop like everything? Yeah, me too. Might not have drilled the holes exactly where I needed them. Maybe off just a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm dropping everything. We're good there. Let's put the hood down and see if this thing will assemble. It's a locking. It is a locking latch, but I mean, it's only as secure as it is, right? Because obviously it could be disassembled. I'll probably come back and, I don't know, put some Loctite on this guy. Just, I don't know, to keep the honest people honest, just in case there's somebody driving around with a couple of Allen keys in their pocket that's the right size, who happens to want to get in my Jeep and steal a battery or something. I don't know. Okay. That's there. This guy in here. Am I locked? Nope. Boom. That's through. Take my key and lock it. There we go. Done deal. So there you go. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. I know that the first thing I'm going to get is surely somebody's going to comment and say, why didn't you put the cable in the front? Why didn't you put the cable in the back? It could go either way. I just decided to go with it in the front. Seems to make more sense. If I'm in the front and I'm opening the hood, then I'm going to be in the front. I can get the key and do it that way rather than having to come around to the back and pull it out. So that's why I did it. So if you would have done it different, let me know. I left a little adjustment in the turnbuckle so that I can adjust and tighten the hood down as I need to. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm not going to film doing the other side. It's just more of the same. But I kind of like these. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked the video, if it was entertaining. Leave me a comment if you've used these on something else, or if you have used them, or if you find something wrong with them. I'll leave a link in the description for the ones that I got. There's several on Amazon that you can find. They're all basically the same thing. But I appreciate you guys watching. Y'all have a great day. Thanks. See ya.